Okay, so we're gonna do this via Ustream apparently. Hi, how are ya? Welcome to the show, or whatever. I'm Scott, and this is Brewing with Scott Leffler. Now, at least one person so far has already assumed that this was a show about brewing beer, and I so wish that it were. Um, but no, it's not. It's just sort of like what's brewing, what's going on, chilling, etc. Whatever. Um, I kind of like the word brewing because there are two things you can brew, really. You can brew coffee, which I like a lot and am drinking right now, or you can brew beer, which I also like a lot. And I don't have any of that right now, but if you want to bring me some, you are more than welcome to. I believe that there are two standard times in the world. There is coffee standard time and beer standard time. And right now it is coffee standard time because I still have to go to work. I'm Scott. I'm assuming that most people watching this first episode here already know who I am, which is how you found out about the episode to begin with. But I am a newspaper columnist. I am a newspaper editor. I'm a former talk show host. I also did a lot of other things in my previous lives. I was a reporter. I went to school for journalism and political science. I'm an Ashland University graduate as well as a Niagara Wheatfield graduate. Ashland being in Ohio and Niagara Wheatfield being in Sanborn, New York, where the cows live. Um, I'm 37, divorced, have a girlfriend who I love most of the time and want to strangle at other times, but don't we all? Um, I have two beautiful daughters who are brilliant and wonderful, who I also want to strangle sometimes. But again, that's just anger issues on my part. Anger issues. Um, I have things that I need to get off my chest. One of the reasons that I'm doing this is that it's therapy. It's like public therapy. Really, you're helping me with issues that I have that no one else can help with. Because the world is a horrible, evil place, and I get angry sometimes at some of the things that are going on. For example, a couple nights ago, I was at the emergency room at Millard Fillmore Suburban Hospital, which is in Amherst, New York, for those of you who have no idea where that might be. Amherst being outside of Buffalo. Again, most people watching this are going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But, so the other day, I'm at Millard Fillmore with my girlfriend's son, who swallowed something he shouldn't have, blah, 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 yakety schmaggety. Doesn't matter, details. Sitting in the ER waiting room, and the Democratic National Convention was on, and it was on Fox News. I got angry, really, I wanted to hit someone with a stick or kick puppies or something. I can't deal with those people. They drive me nuts. Again, this is one of the reasons that I'm doing this. I feel the need to get these things out because Fox News, it's neither attractive, it's not foxy, and it sure as hell isn't news. I don't know what it is. It's more like sea lion propaganda, but they wouldn't change the name to that because who would watch it? And I'm really surprised at the number of people that do watch it. I'm really surprised that I would be at a hospital and that it would be on because it's hateful. It's spiteful, hateful. Oh my God, I can't believe that people like this exist, and yet they do. And there are more and more of them all the time because of things like Fox News. MSNBC is, similar but from the left, but they're also filled with venom. CNN, I guess CNN tries to toe the line. But for the most part, I don't like national news stations because it seems as though they've forgotten what news was. Oh, here's an example. The other night, Fox News was like, breaking news, Michelle Obama about to speak. Michelle Obama had been scheduled to speak. Everyone knew she was going to speak. There was nothing breaking about it. You can't say that something is breaking news if what was expected to happen is happening. Breaking news means oh my God, this just in. But this just in, the sun came up. Doesn't make any sense. So I don't understand why that would be breaking news. But it was. Long story short, Fox News drives me crazy. All right, so I'm going to talk about politics sometimes. Sometimes I'm going to talk about things that are going on in my world, and sometimes I'm going to talk about other things. I might talk about sports. I might talk about literature. Actually, Have you read this? Read this. I'm reading this. It's really good. It's due tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to finish it yet. Got it from the library. Do you have a library card? Everybody should have a library card. So I'll talk about a variety of things at a variety of times. Today, I just kind of want to introduce you to me and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. My goal is to do this daily and do between 5 and 10 minutes a day. Over time, it may lengthen, and we'll see when and if that happens. I'm going to broadcast it live here on ustream.tv, and I will also save it to YouTube. Really, I'm an audio guy, oral guy, if you will. But this is the easiest, cheapest, and quickest way to do this, is to just broadcast it on Ustream. So in the future, there might be a slicker audio style podcast, but for right now, that's what I'm going to do. So I do have a few things that I wanted to talk about today, which is kind of crazy because I'm already 6 minutes in and I haven't even said anything yet, aside from the fact that I'm Scott Leffler. Did I even say that yet? I'm Scott Leffler. If you want to know more about me, just Google me. Scott Leffler. Leffler. I'm going to be the first one that comes up. All right, so some things that I wanted to talk about. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday at work. Coffee, by the way. Brewing with Scott Leffler. Coffee cup. Lockport. That's where I live. Journal. That's where I work. Lockport Journal. I've had this coffee cup for over 10 years. I used to work for the Lockport Journal. Then I went and did radio. Then I got fired from radio. Now I'm back at the Lockport Journal. So I was talking to a friend of mine, a coworker actually, at the Lockport Journal yesterday, who was telling me a story about a friend of hers who had lived out of state and had to move back into the area to look for a job. Now, Western New York's economic outlook is horrible, so the fact that someone would move into Western New York to look for a job just tells me like how bad it must be in the rest of the world. But this friend of hers is married and had to leave his wife in wherever he came from, another state, to come back to Western New York to get a job. And I thought, how horrible that is, that the economy is so bad that it is literally ripping families apart. And I thought, there haven't been too many times in our nation's history where we've had this problem. Obviously, this was an issue in the 30s. And there have been other times, when we've been in pretty dire straits. Now, it happens all the time where kids leave home to look for a job. I know a lot of people that have left Western New York to look for jobs because the economic outlook is always better outside of Western New York. Western New York is still in the Bush recession, the first Bush recession. We've never come out of that. The Clinton years were better to us than the Bush years, but they didn't bring us out like they did the rest of the country. So things have always been kind of ugly here. People leave Western New York to find jobs. And obviously that rips families apart to a certain degree. Mothers and children, that's scary stuff. You don't want to mess with that. But to actually have a husband and wife live in separate states because they can't find jobs in the same place, that's scary. That's really, really, really scary and really sad. It'd be nice if the President of the United States could do something to help. But he can't. And he hasn't. And he can't. The President can only make a situation which allows for jobs to be created. He can't create jobs. Government cannot create jobs. Government didn't build that. All right? Government may have made it possible to be built, though. The whole you didn't build that. First of all, I can't stand Democrats. The only thing that I can't stand more than Democrats is Republicans. I don't like either one. But really, I can't stand Republicans a little more. They irritate me here, whereas Democrats irritate me sort of here. Anyway, so the whole, you didn't build that thing, the propaganda machine just drives me crazy. You'll figure this out over time. So Obama hasn't helped. But it's not entirely his fault. Because everything he has tried to do to help, the GOP has blocked. Every single effort that he's attempted to make since day one, since the day Barack Obama took office, everything he's wanted to do, including go down the hall and take a shit, the Republicans have attempted to block. Now, here we are, going into the election, and Republicans' mantra is pretty much, Obama hasn't fixed the problem, so replace him. It seems incredibly disingenuous to me for a variety of reasons. One, they've tried to block everything he's tried to do. Blocking someone from entering a room and then chiding them for not entering said room. Just the logistics there don't make any sense to me. Juveniles do this. Small children do it. Adults, leaders of the free world, they should be a little bit beyond this. And unfortunately, one of the problems is that the leaders of the free world are juvenile. Democrats and Republicans alike, but lately it seems to me like the Republicans are more whiny, more juvenile than the Democrats are. So to claim that Obama hasn't been able to accomplish anything while also making sure that Obama doesn't accomplish anything just seems disingenuous at best. Treasonous at worst. I mean, literally treason. The Republicans do not have the best interests of the country in mind, my opinion. So last night, Bill Clinton is talking about this on the DNC, Democratic National Convention. I didn't watch the Republican National Convention, and I'm not watching the Democratic National Convention, although I got regular updates via Twitter. By the way, follow me on Twitter, @Scott Leffler. I got regular updates via Twitter and Facebook. I'm on Facebook too, but that's just friends. That's like real people that I really know. Twitter, whatever, it's all good. And Google Plus as well. Google Plus is a series of numbers. You want to find me on Google Plus, just Google my name, Scott Leffler. And they're all talking about what a great job Bill Clinton does. Bill Clinton's a rock star, blah, blah, blah. Bill Clinton, I'd vote for him again. So I didn't watch the DNC last night, but I did catch excerpts of his speech. And, wow, Bill Clinton. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure he would get reelected if he could. If he announced today that he wanted to be president again, and there were mechanisms in place to make it possible for him to be on the ballot instead of Barack Obama, he would totally get reelected. If it were a three-way race between Obama and Romney and Clinton, I think Clinton might actually be able to take it. Bill Clinton he's a superstar. And he gives great speeches. He's not my favorite president ever, but he's also not my least favorite. I don't understand the vile hatred of Bill Clinton. Every time anybody mentions Bill Clinton, the Republicans are all like, "Oh, he lied." He lied about getting a blowjob. I don't know. The guy that came after him lied about there being weapons of mass destruction in another country so that we could go to war with that country and kill the leader of that country because that country's leader had made his daddy look dumb. I don't know. World War III, blowjob. It seems to me like lying about a blowjob is a much less significant threshold. It's not quite as big a deal. To me. That's just me. Republicans, obviously, blowjobs are bad because it wastes the sperm. And anyway, you'd have to be a Republican to understand. I don't understand Republicans. I don't understand Catholics. I don't understand a lot. I don't understand women. Oh my God, I don't understand women. That's another show for another time. So Bill Clinton is totally a rock superstar. The Republicans don't have a Bill Clinton. There's no Republican Bill Clinton. There's no one that the Republican Party can go to and be like, "Hey, you're our guy." They had Dirty Harry, right? He was like their surprise guest, Clint Eastwood. The chair bit was kind of cute, I guess. Little awkward, but cute. I get it. I get what he was doing. I don't think he's crazy. Some people are like, "Oh, Dirty Harry's lost his marbles." I don't think that's the case. I think some people are overreacting just a smidge, which happens all the time in politics. But there is no Republican Bill Clinton. There's no go-to guy that can be like, "Hey, we need the crowds all excited. You do your thing." Mitt Romney. I mean, even their nominee doesn't excite a large portion of the Republican Party. He pretty much got the nomination by default because there was no one better. That's scary when that's where your party is. What's even scary is that there are people that are going to vote for him just because he's a Republican. They don't care that he has no ideas. They don't care that he has no plans. They don't care that he has no charisma. They're going to vote for him anyway. That's really scary. At least George W. Bush was a likable guy. I don't see anything likable about Mitt Romney. Bill Clinton, very likable. Everybody wants to have a beer with Bill Clinton. Everybody wants to have a beer with Bill Clinton and talk about what it was like in college and, all the fun things that he did. There's no Republican that I'm dying to hang out with. No, not one. I can't think of one. So, right now, who is the leader of the Republican Party? According to the Republican National Convention, Ann Romney. Yeah, the wife of the presidential candidate was like, "Woo, Ann Romney, yay!" I don't know. Ann Romney, really? Again, I didn't watch the speeches. I didn't watch the Republican National Convention. I didn't see what Ann Romney said. But when you're running to be president, when you want to be the leader of the free world, and the best thing that you got here is handing your phone to your wife and be like, "Here, ask my wife. She'll tell you what a great guy I am." When your primary character reference is your wife, you might have problems. I'm just thinking, if you ever apply for a job and they want character references, when you have to list your wife, that's not good. You should have other people. That's all I'm saying. So Mitt Romney, I don't know. The scariest thing though is that it's still going to be a close election. I don't understand how it's going to be. Now, I'm not going to vote for Barack Obama. I'm also not going to vote for Mitt Romney. I haven't entirely decided yet, but I know I don't agree with either one of those guys. By the way, there's a cool little web app, if you will, poll that can tell you who you're supposed to vote with. It's called isidewith.com. If you go there and click through, it'll tell you who you're supposed to vote with, who you're supposed to vote for. It's kind of neat, kind of fun to see what candidate you agree with the most. I will vote for the candidate that I agree with the most, as opposed to the candidate that I think is least douchey of the two major parties. That's another issue for another show. Today's show has gone well over what I meant for it to go. But I'll be back tomorrow. We'll do this again tomorrow. We'll meet right here. And we'll talk a little bit more about life, liberty, and the pursuit. I'm Scott Leffler, and you've been watching Brewing with Scott Leffler. Please follow me on Twitter at Scott Leffler. Also, check out my blog. Easiest way to find me is just Google Scott Leffler. So I will see you tomorrow. Thanks, and have a great day.